Aloha, everyone. Welcome to Blossom Inner Wellness. And I have an amazing guest today, Hope Johnson from the Hilo side on the Big Island. And I'm here on the Kona side of the Big Island. And I'm actually going to mute this person right here. I wanted to interview Hope because she's doing some amazing things over on the Hilo side that is so courageous, like going into the police station without a mask on. And she's one of the most calm people that I've ever seen in somebody relating to the authorities. And she speaks from her heart. She lives from her heart. You can just feel it. And I asked her the other day, I was like, how are you so brave? And she said to me, because I know my status. And so I was like, okay, what does that mean? And that is why I wanted to invite and interview Hope Johnson on our on our YouTube channel. So Hope, welcome.
Thank you, Michelle. And I just want to say I love you so much. Whenever I see you, I just feel so much joy and appreciation. Thank you.
I appreciate that. Well, you're absolutely an inspiration to all of us on the islands. I mean, so much is going down right now, especially here in Hawaii with the threat of the vaccine passport and the vaccines and all of that. Oh, I'm not supposed to say that V word. But but so we're gonna call it the V.
Okay.
That's one little point on me. But tell us your journey in understanding your status, because you knew this before any of this went down. You had your status, you know your status. And what does that mean? And I'm going to see about getting this person on.
You know, I've been on a spiritual journey, like we all are, diving deep for many years, and also, you know, really opening up to the guidance of spirit. And I know my status from that perspective. I don't fully know my status as far as able to like put the pieces together in some kind of legal terminology, but I know that's not really necessary at the same time because I know my status. Mm-hmm. So, well, first of all, my status is unshakable innocence. There's no way I can be guilty for anything. There's no way that cannot be. There's no challenge to that. So I know that I'm innocent. I know that I am the only one here. That's another part of it. and I'm sure that there's nothing outside of the world or outside of my mind being anything. Part of knowing my status too is recognizing that there's no possibility of any perceived threat being real. Okay? Because when we perceive a threat and we think it's real, we compromise our status. Oh my God. It makes it as if you are vulnerable, and this is dreaming. So when we're making it as if we're vulnerable, the perception keeps on looking that we are vulnerable to an exterior something putting something onto us. And, you know, I don't have a choice in what I do. Like when I find myself not wearing a mask in a store and they're calling the cops and everything like that, I know none of us choose our actions. So we only have a choice in how we're going to take what we're perceiving. Are we going to take it as real, or are we going to acknowledge that it's a dream perception in thought? It's like a journey in thought. That's all we're doing. None of this stuff is real. Okay. So with that awareness, my status is known to me, but whether or not I'm able to articulate it in some legal terminology that people get, it's like in knowing that there's a calmness that comes with it. That's all. And I don't know, you know, I don't know the specifics of like why I'm doing what I'm doing and anything like that, because the world is chaos. There is no why. There is no why. You know, it's anything that we perceive ourselves, any trip that we perceive ourselves on, any journey, any situation that we find ourselves in, we are in that situation for one purpose. And that's awakening our mind to the truth that's beyond perceiving. So, like, it's not my choice to be at Malama without a mask. Yeah, it's not my choice to do that. It's not my choice to go down to Gehenna, and I have no idea what I'll say. Like, no idea.
Yeah.
I just know I feel it, and I feel inspired, and it seems like I'm going to have a nice group with me too, standing with me, and a powerful group. A group that knows and feels their humanity, you can say, their reality, really. It's our reality. So we have this shared reality. And, the way the ego likes to play is as if you're separate from me. And, it's fun. It's fun for me. I found it so much fun over at Malama when the one lieutenant was playing an energy with me. Did you see him playing that energy with me, where he just was like, well, I just want to arrest someone or something like that, or I'm just looking for someone to arrest or something. You start getting like like that. I think it's fun to play with an energy that pretends to have authority outside of myself.
Okay, so I want to pause you there, because we want to go into this story, and then I want to talk to you, and then I want to ask you questions about tomorrow, Sunday. Mm-hmm. So Malama, now tell us what Malama is for those on the mainland, or those not knowing what that is.
Well, it's a grocery store, and it's a chain owned by Foodland, and they're pretty prevalent I think on all the islands. I know there's quite a few of them on this island. And I had the inspiration to go to Malama and shop without a mask. I was like, okay, I'm just going to go over there and shop without a mask.
And so, and then I saw the video, but for our people who have not seen the video, what happened?
So I had a person taking the film for me, and she was also maskless, my friend Hope. And then we had another couple that just randomly showed up there, kind of like in support. And also they don't want to wear a mask, And so we walked in there, and immediately people were like, kind of like freaking out. It's like this really like, oh my God, like you can't be in here without a mask. So I go, okay, I'm just going to go shopping. And I just kept on going. I just smiled at them and I said, I'm just going to go shopping. And then someone came and stopped my cart, one of the employees, and she was trying to redirect my cart. So I just let go of the cart, and she's like, get out, like in an angry way. If you saw the video, she just kind of like, no, you can't, you have to get out now. And I was just like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm shopping. So I went shopping, and
let me ask you, what were you feeling? What were the feelings going on in your body?
At that point in time, there was a sense of excitement. I think a lot of people would interpret that as fear, and I've had, I know it's really close, because it's really one thing. The fear and the excitement, it's really the same, So I saw my mind interpret it as fear before that particular incident. Like when I first went into a store without a mask, I just, just like in August or something, or maybe before that. In August, it's been since August since I've even worn one. But back then, when I first went without a mask, ooh, I felt it. That was good. It was a huge rush. My heart was like pounding out of my chest, and I just enjoyed the sensation. I just enjoyed that sensation. And then the more I went, the lighter the sensation would be. And then if things got amped up, like someone would, look like they're challenging me or something, then it would turn up the volume of that. and I'd watch it as it turned to excitement and opportunity to relate with people. So then I walked around, and then I heard a big commotion. My two friends, you don't see this on the video, my two friends are the couple who were there. They're just like a huge commotion at the front of the store because they don't have masks, and I'm in the back of the store by now, right? And we're hearing this commotion. I'm just laughing. I'm like, oh my God, that has to be Jane. I mean, she's good at going off with them and just like getting the energy like this. So it's really fun. So I keep on going. Then there's 4 masked people come, and they're like, and they're all way bigger than me. 4 masked people, and they're telling me that I have to leave, and why are you making such a big deal? And I go, I'm just shopping. Seems like you're making a big deal of me shopping. and why don't you want to keep us safe and stuff like this? And I go, this is for you.
I remember that. Okay, I did see that part. I saw that part because it was like they said, this mask is for, they, like one of them said, this mask is for you, and you said what I'm doing is for you too.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
And then she goes, oh no. And I go, okay. So I walk around. The next thing you know, there's 4 different ones like around the corner, like almost like they're surrounding me. So then they say they're going to call the police, and I go, oh, good. I've been trying to get a hold of those guys. So we keep on going. We do our shopping. We get in line, and then we proceed toward checkout. And once we get up to checkout, they close the register, so we can't check out. Say, nope, you can't check out. So we go, okay, I guess we'll just wait for the police right here then. We'll just stand here. So the police came, and we were with the police for probably about a half an hour. I asked each one of them separately about whether they took an oath to uphold the Constitution. And they said, yes. And they had and I asked them about public accommodation, because like in the Bill of Rights, or maybe it's case law, I don't even remember this at this moment, but there's a public accommodation, having to serve everyone equally because they have a license with the government. That's kind of like their agreement that they're going to take care of the people. And that's like the government's like their agreement too, to take care of the people. So I asked each one of them, and none of them would stand on their constitutional oath that says that they're going to support and defend the Constitution. And after some conversation, we were probably with them about 20 minutes inside the store, while Malama closed their store. They just let all the rest of the customers go, but they locked their door and didn't let any more customers in because it's really dangerous with all this free breathing going on in there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So
you didn't get arrested. So I saw that you eventually walked outside, and I think something like the police said, well, we have to arrest you or something like that. And I remember you said, I can't remember the exact words, but I remember you said, well, okay. And you were so calm and like you weren't even frazzled at all. Well, all right. Like, yeah, all right.
I hear you.
What was the language around that? It was so funny. And they didn't arrest you.
No. I was like, okay, I hear you.
So what was your energy when what was your feelings when the police showed up?
Oh, I was happy to see them. Apparently I wanted to have a conversation with them and find out what the deal was. And I learned so much from that experience. I'm just open myself to learning as I go. And found out how the police honor medical exemption through that. Found out really well how they do honor medical exemption. It's just that how the way that they're acting, you can say unconstitutionally to use one thing, but it's just our natural law. I mean, there's only one natural law, it's like, and that's like, we love, support each other. I don't know, words don't really describe that law. But we all know it. That's the thing. We all know it. And so it's like, well, I'm being denied service here because there's this idea that I'm supposed to be following this health protocol. And it's like, that's just, you just know that's not like something that that you deserve. Let's say that's not like something that is worthy of you. That's not a manifestation that's worthy of you. Let's say that. Okay. And then at the same time, you're perceiving it. So when you're perceiving an unworthy manifestation, obviously the answer is love. And in allowing love, your truth can be spoken to.
Amen to that. I went into Ace Hardware a couple weeks ago, and I just walked in, and the clerk wasn't looking up, so she didn't see me, and I did not have a mask on, and I did my shopping. And then I came through to the checker, and she said, "You have to wear a mask." And I said, "No." I said, I'm medically and spiritually exempt, and I don't have to wear a mask." And the manager came up and said, "You have to wear a mask or you have to leave." And I said, I was totally calm, and I breathed, and I said, "I'm here in Aloha, and I'm asking you kindly not to discriminate against me." I would just, and she's literally ringing up my stuff. And I said, "I just want to purchase my stuff and I'll be gone." And then I asked, and then I said again, "Please don't discriminate against me." And she just looked at me, and just like her eyes lit up, and then she just walked away. And it was like, I really feel that that's part of it, is like you're standing in your confidence and in your truth, that you are a sovereign being, that you can make your own choice, your freedom choice, and that you're not harming anybody. And that's another thing I said. I said, "I'm not killing anybody." I said, "I'm standing here. You guys are 6 feet away from me. I'm not harming anybody. Just let me purchase my things and I'll be gone."
Yeah.
And she let me do that. And then I left. And I remember that one of the employees was actually making a key for me. She actually made an extra key I needed made. She was so like smiling ear to ear at me and was like, "Thank you so much for coming in," and gave me the key. And she was like thrilled that I was there. And I could just feel her energy, like, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." And so I just invite you all, if you're listening to this, and I want to ask Hope about tomorrow, because a big thing is happening tomorrow, and we're going to tell you where. And that is going to be Sunday. I don't remember, what's the date today? The 13th, or what's the date today? Tomorrow's the 9th. So it'll be Sunday the 9th, May 9th. And we'll tell you about that in a moment. And then those of you who are on the Zoom call live, if you guys have questions, I'll unmute you guys in a few minutes, and you can ask your questions. And there's a chat if you want to put your question in so you don't forget it. You can put that in the chat. So then the energy that you're having, the energy that I had was, and the other thing that I did before I went into the store, because I was feeling fear and anxious and a little bit of anxiety. It's like coming up, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. I can do this. And while I was driving to Ace, I was like, "I am the truth. I am the light, and I am the love." Breathing in, knowing that God is with me, knowing, "God, you've got this situation, and I just kept focusing on that. I am the truth. I am the light. I am the love. I am not here in anything other than love and aloha." And just stood in that, in that energy. So tomorrow, tell us about what's going down tomorrow and what you're doing, you and your amazing posse.
Well, I never know what's going to happen until it happens. I just got super inspired to go down there as a group, with a group.
Where's there?
Kahena. It's a beach down here in Lower Puna. And the police have been going there every weekend, at least on Sunday. I don't know if they're going every day, every other day too, or any other days. It's a lot of DLNR guys, and then there's a little bit of Hilo police down there, and also sheriff's department. So it's a small beach. It might be the size of like a football field. There's like 8 guys on it with masks standing around, looking like they're looking for a way to give a ticket. And that's the thing, the media is also in on it with them. They just did a media report on it about how they've issued over 100 tickets in the past 6 weeks or 5 weeks or whatever they've been down there. And it's like this whole thing where there's this authority figure standing over you while you're chilling out, relaxing at the beach on a Sunday, looking for you to slip up so they can like come up and write you a ticket. It's just hilarious. And I'm looking at these guys and I'm going, guys, what are you doing?
Because you told me something about the police. You said people have to give consent
Yes.
for what the police officers do. So tell us about that. What do you mean by that?
Well, the thing is, and this is the law that's even beyond any kind of written law. Okay, I have seen it in written law, like I see it pop up in like common law, natural law, all these different ways it pops up. But there's like it's like the police and the government are an invention of people. So, you know, it's like we are the magnificent, we are the divine, we are God, right? All of us, including the police. The police, the government, all of it is a manifestation of our mind. It's an idea. You know, them in the role of police, of course, they're the truth, just like we are, but they're in the role of police, and they're in the role of police, which we set up for our benefit, which means we are the beneficiary of that. So all those codes and all those things, those don't apply to us. And here's the thing, here's the easiest way that they get you. When you talk with a police officer, the first thing they do is ask your name, okay? And this is something that I haven't realized until just recently. It just like really dawned on me. The first thing they do is ask your name. I noticed that because I'll ask them my name. I'll just go, yeah, my name is Hope Johnson. You know, what's up? And then I realized, wow, when they ask you your name and you say your name, that's in their mind how they just got authority over you. They just got your consent, because your name isn't like that. Your name isn't owned by you. Your name is your name is like a piece of paper that's traded. I even found this website where you can put your social security number in, or your birth certificate number. There's like a tracking number at the bottom of your birth certificate. You can put it in and see how it's traded in bonds or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't own that thing. Like, I'm the beneficiary of it. Right? I'm not, I don't have a license to use that thing.
And so what Hope's talking about, I want to interrupt you just for a brief moment, because what you're saying is really, really important. And a lot of people might not understand. They might go, what is she talking about? My name is traded. For those of you who don't know, your birth certificate actually puts you as a commodity on the market. And this is something that I only learned a few years ago, and I was like, what? And so we got our cat outside. So when you're born and your parents literally sign your birth certificate, they're literally signing you over as a commodity, as a product. And then what happens is you're traded, and what that means is you're actually the powers that be, the 13 families that literally own the banking systems, they actually bet on you, and the amount of tax dollars that you pay. That is one thing that is a profit for the powers that be. So that's what she's talking about. She's talking about your birth certificate has made you into a commodity, and that's what when Hope's talking about that. Is there anything else you want to say about that?
Yeah, because the birth certificate and that stuff didn't make you into a commodity. So that's where they made your name. So it's like your name. Yes. Your name is this corporate fiction. It's like a corporation, okay? And so when they say, is that your name? You're like agreeing to act like you're that corporate fiction, kind of like Hope Johnson Incorporated. So when anyone in perceived authority asks you your name, it's probably, and I don't know, I might find myself start practicing this. It's probably a fun idea to stop saying I'm my name. Like we've been trained, we're conditioned to say that.
Yes.
What's your name? I'm Hope Johnson. I'm so conditioned to say that.
Maybe it's like, And maybe it's like, I am a woman
Yes.
who goes by the name Michelle Melendez.
Yeah, or uses the name Michelle Melendez
Uses the
for
name.
convenience.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's brilliant. I'm a woman who goes by the name Michelle Melendez as convenience.
Yeah, I use it. I use the name.
I use it.
I use the name for convenience. And you know what some people do? Like I heard from my friend, she goes by Susanita. And her and you know, they have her name. It's a different name, right, than Susanita. And she's going to court for something, and they ask her name, and she says, I'm Susanita Lovely. I'm the beneficiary of that name that you have. And you know what? They ended up just throwing her case out.
Yeah, that's actually happened a lot. There's been some people who have had the COVID restriction. They've been arrested and they've stayed in their sovereignty, and it's gotten dropped.
Yep.
So this does work, and it's like people, what happened is people become in fear of the authorities and the government, thinking that the government is for the people, by the people, and our leaders have forgotten that. And so it's up to each one of us, and you're doing an amazing job of this, to remind them that we are sovereign beings and they work for us.
Yeah.
So going back to Sunday, what are you going to tell the police when they show up?
I don't know. I mean, you know, I have an idea. I haven't, you know, it's going to be something about how the government derives their authority from the consent of the people, and that we don't consent. Basically, that's the point I want to get across. And then Christina, who's on here, suggested that we invite him to join us, which I thought was a great idea. So there's probably going to be some of that. So hey, you guys, you know, you can just join us in peace and freedom, and just chill out and be cool. Be cool down at the beach. Be cool dudes at the beach. You don't even have to take your clothes off if you don't want. It's optional. We don't try to put anything on you. Basically, just as much as, and you know, it's an energy thing. So whatever I'm led to speak, I'll speak. And it's a flowing, changing thing. So I don't have anything down. But when I got the flash of inspiration when I was in the shower, it just felt so good to stand in that truth that, hey, we don't consent. Because the thing is, people are afraid to say that, and so they don't know it. They think they have the consent of the people. And what's funny is when they did their news report, they said about 50% of the people, the 50% of the people are glad they're there. I think it's more like zero, actually. I don't even think it's, I don't know. I'm going to go down and feel the people out in the morning. I'm gonna leave at about 10. I'll be down there like an hour and a half or an hour and 20 minutes before I plan to meet the group at the top. So I'm gonna go check those people out, and I'm gonna see what they're thinking, and if they would be stoked to, you know, just let the police know we don't consent to you being here. And I heard last week, since I was there 2 weeks ago. I don't know if you saw my videos, Michelle. Did you?
Not the current ones, not the recent ones, but I did see the one in the grocery store.
You'll have fun with those videos. You got to check them out. They're on my Rumble. So I went down there and I was questioning the police. You know, I had a notice of liability that I wanted to I go, hey, you know, you guys, there's ways that you can limit or eliminate your liability. And that's why I want to serve this on you, you know. Because this is like war crimes and these kind of level things that we're talking about here. And, you know, like basically I got some ways in here where you can limit or eliminate your liability, and I'm going to need to take your names and, you know, and your badge.
Oh, I love you taking their names.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yes. And
yes.
Yeah, you'll like it. Cause you know, I went up to one officer and he goes, he goes, you have to talk to my supervisor. And he wasn't giving me his first name, you know. And so I go to the supervisor and I go, I require the names of all the officers who are out here today. And he goes, you require? And I go, yes, I do. He goes, you require? Like he got, yes, I do require it. And so he goes, okay. And then he started giving me the names. He wouldn't give me the first names of these people. And see, what I'm thinking is, and what I'm noticing is that is the policy. It's not the formal policy. It's more like the way they just do it. They only give you the first initial. And so, yeah, but I already have the first names because I just did a Freedom of Information request and got it like the next day.
Fantastic.
I gave the first name and a first initial, last name, badge number. That was like easy for them. And
so what are you doing with those? You're serving them notice of liability?
I'm serving them with notice of liability.
And what does that do?
It puts them on notice that this is basically these kinds of actions are to coerce people to take an experimental injection. And what their crimes, they're considered crimes under these certain, like these different Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the Nuremberg Code, of course, the United States Constitution, things that they recognize. It's just obvious, you're talking about just like naturally who we are is like, it's like obvious, but it needs to be pointed out apparently. It's getting pointed out, and then letting them know that they will be held personally liable for harm or death that comes from any of this, including the injections, because these actions are meant to coerce people to take this experimental injection.
Yes.
So, and when I called, first I called the lieutenant in charge of the DLNR enforcement team who I met down there. Because he said I can call that number and get the names. And when I called, I got transferred to him. So I said, I'm calling for those names. And he's like, well, I could give you the badge numbers that I wasn't able to provide that day, but I'm not giving you the first names. And I was like, really? And I asked him out there, I go, is that in alignment with your policy? And he didn't know. And I'm like, okay. Because, I didn't say this to him on the spot, but if that's not in alignment with his policy, he's going to get a misconduct.
Yeah.
He's going to get a misconduct filing. And maybe more than one, maybe 25 again. Maybe we have a police obedience party for that.
Yeah.
So as far as I know so far, what I've looked into, they're acting as police down there. And the Code of Professional Conduct for Police says that they have to provide their name. It doesn't say what their, okay, so that's not your name, though.
Yeah.
So,
badge number is not your name.
Yeah, that is not your name. So
yes, I want to tell people, for those people who don't know, we actually had a police misconduct, filling out the police misconduct form together in Hilo, and there's had to have been 20 to 30 people, and this was for a man who got cited for trespassing in that Island Natural store, which is another a health grocery store. And what happened was his mask kept falling down. He said it wasn't even below his nose, but he had made a comment to the security guard who was basically harassing him. And then he was asked to leave, and he was leaving, and the security guard stood in front of him, stopped him from leaving, then handcuffed this customer in the store, and then detained him in the office until the police came. And when the police came, he told the police, this guy assaulted me and kidnapped me. He assaulted me, he put handcuffs on me, I was leaving the store, he wouldn't let me leave, and he detained me against my will, and the officer completely ignored him. So there was about 30 of us that got together to write a police misconduct. They cannot do that. And then I don't even know, we have almost 800 people now on our petition to get a town hall meeting with the governor. And many of us called Island Naturals and complained against the security guard that we are concerned that a free citizen customer goes into their store and they allowed their security guard to handcuff this customer who was leaving the store. So we actually called the Island Naturals, made a complaint, and then Hope is talking about the police misconduct form. So if you have police who are not, you feel are not doing what is legally right for the citizens, you can file a police complaint of misconduct. And you have to get it notarized, which is why we were all together, because we were all getting notarized at one time. And Hope, do you know anything that's happened with those?
We are going to get letters in the mail, and Hope C, a different Hope who wasn't there, who turned hers in separately, already called, and she found out that the notices to us are going to be going out sometime this month, and the hearing will be sometime in June. And the hearing is before the 9 police commissioners.
And so we're all going to be able to be on the stand for that, or how?
I don't know how it looks specifically, but from what I gather, it's a public hearing and anyone can go. We don't have to go.
That is super wonderful.
Our filing stands on its own, but we don't have to go, but it's a public hearing as well.
Oh my gosh, that's super, super wonderful.
So,
And this is us standing up for our rights. So all of you guys who are watching, you can do this as well. It takes courage, and I'm telling you right now, I feel in my heart that each one of us has decided to come here at this time in history for this journey, for this expansion. Excuse me, there's people moving upstairs. But Hope, is there anything else you want to say about that situation?
Yeah, I wanted to add that I totally don't know what I'm doing, like in any of the steps that I'm taking. I'm only just, experiencing whatever it is that I happen to be doing. I don't know the correct way to speak as if you're a sovereign or anything like that. And if that knowledge needs to be made known to me, it will be.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a matter of knowing it in your heart and standing on the truth that we all are in the face of an illusion.
Amen. Yeah. And so if those of you who are on live, if you have any questions, you can just, I don't think there's a raise a hand, but there's a chat in the toolbar below. Just click on that, and then I'll unmute you. If you have any questions or comments or want to add to this conversation, please do that. Just say me in the chat and I'll unmute you. And I know, Christina, you're already unmuted, so if you want to chime in, you're welcome to do that as well.
No, I'm being rude because I'm going to go meet with Jack and help him with the Vax booth.
Okay,
You're
cool.
being
We
awesome.
have on the Big Island of Hawaii, on Kona side, we have a vaccine booth that says for your rights, and so that's on one of the Mamalahoa Highway, and people can stop and get just information. It's information about the vaccine booth. So thank you for doing that, Christina. And what are you finding? People stopping, and what questions are they asking, or what do you?
Well, some of them want to know where they can get the vaccine.
Oh, Jesus.
And that information's available, and other people are concerned about it and don't want it. And some people stay and have a long conversation. I think Jack's been giving free avocados with each visit, which is a nice little perk. But I'm seeing the overall trend is people are still feeling a little sheepy, and
Yes.
I don't know, because they're on their way somewhere, so not everybody's going to pull over. But at the same time, Jack had an incident at the Safeway in Kona where he's been going in without his mask, and they really jumped on him. And then I shop at that Safeway, and I noticed that the last visit, which was yesterday, people are even more regimented with the rules.
Do you wear a mask when you go in there?
I do.
Okay, so you notice they're wanting you to pull it above your nose and stuff like that?
No, they never talk to me.
Okay.
They never talk to me, but they're really doing the social distancing, and like people were stopping, like, oh my God, I don't want to be closer than 6 feet. We're such sheep.
So let me tell you about 6 feet. I want to tell you about 6 feet because your heart and the energy of your body, and especially your heart. Your heart was the first organ that was created in your body in your mother's womb. And your heart remembers, it actually has memory. It has 40,000 neurons in it, and it can think, and it can actually remember and learn. That's the other word, remember and learn. And so one of the things that happens is the energy field of your body goes out 6 feet. Some people, it goes out even further, but the average goes out 6 feet. And then what happens is when we're talking with each other and we're in connection and communication, our thoughts and our feelings, the frequency of our body, the energy of 6 feet, the frequency connects with the other people that we're talking to. It literally meshes. And then what happens is that frequency combines with the other people you're talking to, and it creates a frequency together of its own. And that field goes out into the infinite, possibilities, which is the empty space. So this frequency, this empty space that we're walking in, we are like fish walking in water. We're walking through a vibrational frequency, and we don't even know it. This is a frequency that we're all walking in. So this is why a person can walk into a room and you don't have to see them. You can feel them, because you can feel their energy field. So it's 6 feet. That's why, because what happens is when we're not able to be 6 feet within each other, then the frequency of the combination of our thoughts and our heart and our feelings cannot combine. And we are strongest when we're together. This is why in the Bible it says, wherever 2 of you are gathered, I am there. Because the frequency of us being together is powerful, more powerful. Now, what the doctors are saying about the V is that when you are next to somebody who's got the V, your frequency field automatically wants to go toward that person and combine with their field. But now that they have the V, their frequency is different, and your field can't combine. It can't connect. So what happens is, and this is what doctors are saying. So please, I'll probably maybe put a video below this, link below this video for this information, if it is not cut off. But anyway, what happens is when you're trying to connect with somebody with the V, it can't connect. So what happens is the frequency feels kind of like it doesn't feel right, and then that field comes back into your body, because what happens when you're talking with somebody, it goes back and forth, right? Like your energy goes, oh, it's my turn to talk. Now it's my turn to talk. You can literally feel it. It's a conversation. It's a wave. Yeah. So what happens is when you're with somebody who's got the V, the wave gets like choppy, and now that comes back into your body. And that is what can cause different ailments in your body. So, and I do have somebody who's on the chat who wants to talk about something, so I'll check in that in a second. But what I want to invite you guys to do is, instead of being in fear, because we want to stay in love and we want to stay in power, is when you're going out, tell your energy field, do not connect with anybody who has the V. Anybody who's got the injection, do not connect with them. Stay in only with my energy field, and only connect with those people who are V-free, no injection in them. Only connect with them. There's different crystals you can get. They're black crystals, shungite, onyx, some other crystals that you can actually have on your person. I have a shungite crystal in my purse that I carry. But just honor your frequency, and telling your frequency you are only connecting with those who are of the light and who are not injected. And I'm not saying those who have the V are not of the light, because they're just lost. And let me just check this this chat person down here. It's called quantum entanglement. Christina, thank you. Did you want to say more about that?
No, I have to go.
Okay. All right, aloha.
Here. God bless you
Love
all.
you. Love you. So I wanted just to mention that as well. And also the last thing I want to say about that is supplements, making sure you're boosting your immune system. Vitamin D3 is very, very important. Even though we do have the sun, vitamin D3, you want to be able to, and I get the liquid form, and I use the spray. Cracked cell chlorella is a great one, because it helps to detox the body, helps to detox the cells naturally, as well as alkalining the cells. The other one, zinc, and the other one is quercetin, and I'm going to grab that really quick because I have two of them. Let me grab that for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. But this is a plant-based flavonoid, and it's, can you see that? Quercetin. And you can get this, it is a antioxidant. And so you've heard of hydrochloroquine, and then you've heard of ivermectin, right? And then this is the third one down. So you can get this on Amazon. And so it's so interesting about those two supplements that they cleanse the body of parasites. Hydrochloroquine and ivermectin and quercetin cleanse the body of parasites, which is very interesting that those are the ones that highly work with this virus. So keeping your body very healthy, clean is important. And Hope, do you want to say anything about that? And again, the chat is open, you guys.
Oh, I just wanted to say that, you know, when you're talking about connecting with people, Christina wrote it right here. It's called quantum entanglement. And you know, I just wanted to clarify that, you know, we could always be extending love to them. That's
Yes.
not going to harm us in any way, shape, or form. You
Yes.
know, and that's really what's the reality. Even our energy fields are projected from our mind, you know. So it's like Michelle's saying, you know, tell your energy field this. It's a protection of your mind. That's why you can just tell it shit and it believes in it.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. And Goldie, I have you unmuted. You have your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to say something. I have tape on my hair.
That's all
I
right.
just want to say that right before you guys started talking, I saw on Hope Big Island Truth and Freedom site that someone posted this incredible video of a woman who was just like, didn't miss a beat, talking about universal law and about unalienable rights and about what corporation means and all the stuff that you've been talking about. And if somebody really wants to understand
awesome.
what you were talking about at the very beginning, Hope, about who we are and all of that, that video is kind of just recent on your.
Well, there's a video that's on my, why don't I see it?
Oh my God. This woman just says it and she doesn't miss a beat, and it's really worth watching because it really explains what we're talking about in the universal law.
Wonderful.
And the other thing, Michelle, I was going to mention that talking about our energy fields, I have a device called a Healy. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's a microcurrent device, a personal device. And it's got 144,000 frequencies. And they even developed one for this whole COVID thing to protect your energy field with a certain current.
Awesome. So, send me that and I'll put that in the description below. I will. Frequency is important. Frequency is important. There's actually, we can do a whole another show on frequency. But it's really interesting because the powers that be, I don't even like to call them that, these 13 families, they actually changed the frequency of our music. Our music used to be 432 octaves, or not octaves, I'm not sure if I'm saying the right word, but it went down to it used to be 442, and then it went down to 432, which is not the optimal frequency for music. And the optimal frequency is 442, and it's really interesting how that affects the body. But Goldie, was there anything else you wanted to say about that?
No, I think you were talking about the megahertz, but yeah.
Megahertz, that's right. Thank you.
But I've been using this Healy now for about a year, and it's a German personal microcurrent device, which is really, really cool. And you can check it out. You can just Google Healy, Healy.
Yeah.
And, inspired by Tesla, who
the helium field. Yep.
Said that the vision and the future of medicine will be
frequency. Absolutely. Yeah. I am total on board with that. And that's what we are. We are frequency. So, and that's what this one thing that this V is messing with is our frequency. But
And supposedly I also read that it was also putting some metallic substance in your blood that causes the 5G to expand upon the control over you.
Yeah.
So the whole thing, and when you talk about frequency, and people kind of get crossed out and don't know what you're talking about, just say, well, turn your radio on.
Yep.
Don't like that music, change that frequency. I mean, and this little device has 144,000 different.
Yeah. 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 No, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you on that. And so on that note, is there anything else you want to share, Hope? I'd love to do a visualization guided prayer because our frequency of love is the most important, and our frequency of what Hope was talking about at the very beginning, which is to know your status and know who and what you are, which you told me, you're like, Michelle, we're right below God. Like there's God and then there's us. And this whole thing of being afraid of the government and being afraid of, I'm just allowing somebody else to.
Well, in the scheme of things, the way the government looks at it, we're right below God. But in reality, there's no separation between us and God to be below God. It's just in the scheme that's been set up in the world, and in the even their rules that they wrote. That's the scheme of thing. It's God, us, government, rules, all that stuff below us. But in reality, of course, there's no separation. We're all just pretending to be separate here.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, and I feel like each one of us has chosen, to come here at this certain time in history, to be born to the certain parents we were born to, and at the certain time and location on earth that started our emotional our personality from the frequency of the trauma of our parents, of our lineage, of the location on earth, of the planets and their alignment that created our personality. And then as we started growing up, going through the trauma, the emotional trauma of our journey, because each one of us, if you're a human being, you have emotional trauma.
Yep.
And our job is to integrate the trauma back into the light and love of God, which I feel you do really well without even knowing it, Hope, because just by you feeling the fear, noticing because like when we first started talking, I said, what did that feel like for you to go into the store? What did that feel like without a mask to talk to the police officers? And you're like, well, the fear, and the feeling came up, and you're just noticing it. You're not making it wrong. You're not trying to fix it. You're just noticing the feeling, and you're just like, oh, and you're breathing into it. That's integrating the trauma. That's integration. And what happens is a lot of us go, oh, fear. Oh, I don't like it. Oh, there's something wrong with me. Oh, and you're letting yourself be in the emotion when you are actually noticing it without letting it affect your behavior, which is so rare to find in a human being. You're a star being. You're like a light star being of angel.
And I'm always learning, and that's the thing. I'm aware when I'm not doing that too, and I'm not judgmental of myself for not doing that. And that's just a huge thing, because the learning happens through the willingness to get the experience. A lot of people block their own learning because they might see someone like me and go, oh, I'll never be like that. And then go and then block their own learning experience. You learn through having the experience, and when you're not judging it, you're allowing yourself to get the sensation of everything that's arising. It is all sensation. There's nothing else here.
Amen. Amen to that. Okay, so I want to do a quick guided frequency release prayer here. If there's anything else you want to share, and Goldie, thank you so much for your comments. I'm going to put that link in the description below the video. And Hope, is there anything last things you want to share before we do that guided frequency? I'm going to raise your guys' frequency with this prayer. It's going to be beautiful.
I'm so excited. Let's do it.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So go and take a deep breath. And just let your body feel into your body. Feel into this present moment, even if you're watching the video. Let yourself hear any sounds in your room, in your space, outside. Any sounds that may come up as I'm doing, as we are doing this guided visualization, just notice the sound without making it right or wrong or good or bad. And now notice the feeling in your body. What is the feeling? And completely let it be there without trying to fix it or make it right or wrong or good or bad in any way. Just notice, what is the frequency? Maybe it's contentment, maybe it's hope, maybe it's inspiration, maybe it's fear, maybe it's sadness. Letting yourself go ahead and put your hands on your heart, touching this amazing heart that was the first organ that was created in your mother's womb as you were being born, as you were being created in her womb. This first organ that started beating before you were born. This organ, this heart that pumps blood through your body. This heart that remembers and that learns. This heart that sends messages to your brain. This heart that has a frequency of its own that goes out 6 feet with the emotions that you feel. So touching this amazing body and touching this amazing heart, sending this body, which has gone through so much, especially in the last year and a half, sending this body, which houses your spirit, this spirit that chose to come here at this time in history, touching this body that houses and still has every single memory that you have ever gone through, every single experience you have ever gone through, that memory is still in this body. And there's nothing wrong with this body, and there's nothing to fix. And breathe into your body as a human being with full acceptance of how you're feeling, no matter what it is. Let that feeling expand through the cells of your body, expand down your limbs, whatever that frequency, that emotion is, fully accept it as you right here, right now, in this present moment. And now find within you that part of you that feels free, that part of you that knows you are a vibrational frequency. You are a unique expression of the infinite creator. You are God in living flesh as a person, as a personality. Find within you that part of you that holds peace and freedom for the entire world, for yourself, for your family, for your friends. Find that light, that spark that holds peace, that holds freedom, that holds love, that holds the feeling of aloha for friends, for strangers, for family. And let yourself breathe into that part of your body and expand that with your breath. Let that frequency of aloha, that frequency of peace, of love, of compassion, even for those people who have taken the V, expand that frequency with your breath and let that frequency go out your limbs and go out into the energy field that's around you. And that frequency of aloha, of love, of compassion, of absolute understanding that this is a challenging time for all humans on the earth. That feeling of peace for all sentient beings. Let that feeling go out into your room or into the area where you're at and start to go down your neighborhood. Let that frequency of peace, of aloha, of love, compassion go out throughout your whole town. Let that frequency of peace go out to all the islands of Hawaii and all the mainland. And start to travel like a wave around the globe, touching all people who are in fear, giving them the light of courage, of strength, of love, of knowing that they are here for a reason, of knowing that they are supposed to be here at this time in history. Feeling the frequency of aloha, of love, compassion, courage go out to all, the entire globe, touching all people around the world, touching the mothers who want their children to be safe, touching anyone who feels alone, touching anyone who feels stressed or worried or afraid, and giving them the lightness of hope, the lightness of inspiration, the lightness of aloha, the frequency of love, of peace, of harmony. And now visualize this planet as light, pulsating light out into the galactic field, pulsating a message that this planet is free. This planet is at peace with all sentient beings. This planet is in harmony. And this planet holds the frequency of aloha, strength of that frequency of love that is the infinite creator that has created all things. And breathing into this body, holding this light around the planet, sending yourself compassion for everything you have gone through in this past year and a half, sending your body strength and courage for what is your kuleana, what is yours to do at this time in history. Sending your body love, aloha, and appreciation for all it's gone through in your life. Breathing into your body at this time in history, knowing you are always kept safe, that you are guided by infinite source, that you always have your angels around you that protect you, guide you. Breathing into your heart, this amazing heart. Breathing into the frequency of your body. So much appreciation, allowing yourself to be exactly who you are, nothing to fix. Taking a deep breath into your body. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes. Oh, you're muted. I gotta unmute you. Oh,
I muted myself because my dog was lapping water during the meditation.
I didn't even hear it.
Oh, good. Oh, man, that was beautiful. Thank you. I feel wonderful.
Cool. So I'm going to actually be doing a guided dance journey, and it's going to be through Zoom. It's going to be by donation only. So donation, whatever you want to donate, and it's going to be it's going to be the second and the fourth Sunday of the month, starting the May 23rd. So I'll send you guys a link for that. If you want to join me live, there's only 9 spots available because it's going to be silent, which means headsets. And we're going to be at the Honokahau Harbor in Kona, Hawaii. So that means anybody who wants to join us, that's where we're going to be. It's going to be beautiful with the turquoise water and right on the edge of the harbor. And we're going to do a guided dance. So if you enjoyed this meditation, it's going to be this, but with music and with the guiding of a wave format, and then we'll finish with a prayer at the end. It'll be really powerful. So I'll give you guys that information. Hope, I'm sending you so much love, so much courage. I just see you surrounded by a group of angels. There's this one meme that has all of these angels like overlooking the world, looking down at, and like there's millions of these angels just looking down at the earth, and it says, when you ask me and what army? All these angels around. So I just visualize that for you tomorrow. Just so many angels, so many light beings, the ancestors of Hawaii. Can you imagine telling an ancient Hawaiian to put a mask on their face?
I know.
It's like, what?
It's so demeaning. It's demeaning. And that's something I saw in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It was either demeaning or demoralizing or both. And that's what a mask is, you know?
Absolutely.
That makes it a war crime. Isn't that funny?
It is a war crime. It is a war, especially for the children, especially masking children.
Yeah.
That should be child abuse. That's criminal right there. But I just send you so much love and so much strength, and I love you as my Hawaiian sister. And Goldie, thank you for chiming in, and Lily and Lauren and Christina who left us. Thank you for joining. Much aloha. I'm going to be doing more of these interviews. So if you want to go to YouTube, my channel is Blossom Inner Wellness. Blossom Inner Wellness is my channel. I'll be doing some more of these interviews with women around the world, empowered people that we are. So much love and aloha, and I'm going to press the recording stop button.